Alright, welcome back, YouTube. We return after the Port Royal action. Straight into ancient highway. Falcon. Not Asian, ancient.
This sure is exciting.
Beard looking good today. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I'll take that. This is an awesome beginning, I guess. The highway, like the flying away music on Kingdom Hearts, became way much more rock and roll than last time. And by last time, I obviously mean Kingdom Hearts 1. Okay. Damn, look at that. Much prefer this gummy to Kingdom Hearts 1? I don't know. I'm still unsure. I think maybe the structure where they used it maybe makes it feel a little bit more repetitive. So I'm something stuck in my teeth. Yo, Deluge, how's it going? Good to see you. Happy Saturday. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. So that's another. Well, that's a curious highway. Only 20%. So Agrabaaaah is level 22. I'm just wishing this one is lower level, so we jump straight up to what looks like Jack. So that's 400 health. Less shooting, though. Yeah, I'm definitely going with this one still.
This sure is exciting.
Yo, Tendy, how's it going? Good to see you. Happy Saturday. I hope you're having a lovely day today. This track is indeed awesome. Very badass. What did you name your ship? I actually don't know. I think I just named it High Winds. I'm not sure. I think I just let it be, you know? A little bit like F-Zero? Might not be wrong there. Can you believe I never played F-Zero? I know a little bit of the soundtrack because I got it sent to me a couple times, but I never played F-Zero. I know, I was never a big Nintendo guy. I never had a lot of Nintendo consoles. I can honestly say, like, the only Nintendo console that I actively played a lot was the Game Boy. Apart from that, I just owned all the PlayStations, and that's it. That's that. So the big Nintendo games, I just never played them. I played Mario 64, but only recently. I never played Donkey Kong. Any of the Donkey Kong games I never played. I never played F-Zero. I never played Star Fox. I haven't even played Metroid yet. I never played Metroid. Like, I know the memes and I know the games, but I just never played the games. I'm a fake gamer, guys. Ooh, that's cool. Do your parents dig up the Game Boys? Dude, that's awesome. The first console that I owned was actually the Game Boy, and I played a lot of Game Boy. I just never had, like, I just noticed it. Wait. God damn it. I forgot to start recording. Well, YouTube, I'll fix that in post. As we say here, we'll fix that in post. Back to what I was saying. I guess that it isn't. I'm not gonna throw shade at your parents for, like, wanting you to have good stuff and to have what you want. I guess that's okay, as long as it doesn't turn you a little bit spoiled. I guess that's not a problem, is it? I don't see the bad in it. Like, my parents, they gave me a bunch of stuff as well, but I never asked for it. Like, I didn't want to ask it directly. They always tried to figure it out and getting to know me. Because they once got mad at me at Christmas because they didn't know what to give me, and I wouldn't tell them. So yeah. From then on, I would just say to them, hey, give me stuff that I actually need. Like, if I need clothes, just give me clothes. I'll be happy with it. There was the fun. It's so interesting. At least now I wish they bought more for themselves. I guess now you can pay it back, you know? I guess that's how parents, children things works, you know? Exactly. That's what I was about to say. Like, when they spoil you as a kid, and if you are raised right, you will end up paying it back when you're older. So I guess things actually even themselves out. And they are gonna feel like they don't deserve it. They're gonna be like, no, spend the money on you, do your thing. But that's just raising people right, I reckon. There was funny that I got into PlayStation because I was so oblivious as a kid, but now I recognize the mischievous ways that my parents used to trick me into tell them, like, the stuff that I actually wanted for Christmas. One time, my mom used to ask me to call my dad to work, like, to ask him if he was coming home for dinner, or just to ask him random stuff, you know? So one time, and now I recognize this was so set up. Like, I called the office, and his boss picks up, and he starts making small, like, chit chat. He was asking me, hey, what do you want for it's Christmas time? It was around Christmas times. It was like November, And he was like, hey, what do you want for Christmas? And I remember that I've been watching a couple of cartoons during the afternoon, and I remember seeing on TV like this PlayStation 1 advert, and I said, hey, the PlayStation 1 would be cool. And then my dad picked up, and he was like, so what are you talking about? It's just like, no, just Christmas stuff. And they just picked that, turned it off. And then that Christmas, I got a PlayStation 1. But my child brain always thought, like, how did he know? Surely was that, like, accidentally that the boss actually told him, you know? It wasn't. But I remember my parents were so cool about it. Like, they didn't, obviously, when, like, we were born, especially the people from, like, that was born in the 90s, like me, like, we were born when there was this huge transition between, like, a huge transition in evolution in gaming and technology overall. So I remember my dad bought the PlayStation, but he was so nervous because he was like, okay, so listen, I don't know if we got you the right one, so check it out. Like, that's how I got the present on Christmas night. And I opened it, I was like, yeah, this is what I want. So, and then he told me, okay, this I tomorrow, before, because you here in Portugal, you open the presents after the 24th at midnight, after midnight. So on the 24th in the evening time. But he told me, okay, so there are no games. Because, yo, me, how's it going? Happy Saturday, my dude. Good to see you. So he told me, okay, so I bought you the console, but I didn't buy any games because I don't know anything about PlayStation games. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna test out the PlayStation, see if it works, see if it turns on, see if you know how to work with it. And then tomorrow we're gonna go to the store and you can pick up any game you like. And I didn't know anything about games when I was a kid, so I just picked up Micro Machines because it was the only game I actually recognized, because I used to play with a lot of tiny cars, like tiny Hot Wheels. So I picked up Micro Machines because I saw some cars I recognized, so I jumped on it. Yo, lad, how are we? Chimp lad, get in. Me talking childhood, my mates jumping in. How's it going, lad? Happy Saturday. I know you're having a good one. I guess you can't be that down in the dumps, huh? Who said I was? Princess Jasmine. She's worried because you're always in town. Got a new girlfriend? No way. Still, I guess there's no fooling Jasmine, huh? See, Genie and Carpet took off to see the world. It's what Genie always wanted, so I wished him the best and all, but you miss him. Man, things must be really getting me really quiet with Genie gone. Yeah, that's why I come here. The action, the people. There's always something going on. I mean, come on. I bet you guys here today, right? The place is full of surprises. Sora? Yago? Oh, right. He wants to apologize for all the trouble he caused. Oh, he does? Gorsh, he's so sorry, he's shaken. It's all good times? Lovely, lovely, lovely to hear, dude. I love when my friends are all with a good energy. And thank you, I'm glad the purple looks nice. This is like one of the 5 shirts I own. That lamp. What about it? It was the lamp. You know, the one with Jafar in it? Come on, there's like a million of it. Hey, I was locked in that I was locked up in that thing for 4 months. There's no way I'd mistake it. Then we'd better go back and talk to that peddler right behind you. And Aladdin is in the crew. Let's go. Micro Machine was the first good PS1 game. I'll put that, you know what? I'll put that in the title. Apart, what was your... Let me tell you what was your first ever first game ever? I kind of want to know. So, Micro Machines wasn't my first... Man, I played that game to oblivion. I knew the ins and outs of Micro Machines because that's what you usually did when you were a kid, right? Like, if you couldn't buy any game you wanted, you just play one game for until your parents decide, hey, it's time to buy you a second game. You know what the funniest part was? And not, dude, I just have these. I don't have a lot of memories when I was a kid. Like, I just have these images in my mind from these tiny moments. I have a bunch of memories. I just, you know, when you have those images in your brain that kind of, you know, get, you know, stuck in, if for some reason you can't forget them. So I distinctively remember the morning I went with my dad to the store. By the way, he knew the guy at the store. It was a friend of ours. He used to take care to be my friend in the street. Like, he was an older guy, but he used to look out for us when we played ball on the street. And we went to his store, and I remember picking up a case of a game that I liked the case so much. And I remember it had a meteor in it. So you guys obviously know now that it was Final Fantasy VII. And this guy that used to look after me on the streets, he told me, hey, maybe give him another game because he's like tiny kid, he won't understand that game, so better give him like made him choose another game. But I almost instantly put it down from what I remember, and then I picked up Micro Machines. But Final Fantasy VII could have been my first ever PS1 game, which would have been crazy, and I wouldn't get anything in Final Fantasy VII at that tiny little age. But it's interesting that in my brain I remember me stretching those little tiny arms to pick up the Meteor game. Absolute scenes, let's go! With the absolute shambles that is this stream, I forgot to start recording. We already in Agrabaaaah. We have Yeti with the 18 months. How's it going? Hope you're doing great. How's your Saturday? Yeah, I forgot to start the recording. Now we're just talking video games. I know I got a few responses. I'll discuss that in a bit. Let me just defeat these dudes with this cool battle music. Mech Warrior 2 for PS1? That's awesome. I heard of that game, but I never played it. First game was probably ever Tetris on the Game Boy. Tetris, man. My mom is completely addicted to Tetris. Like, it's crazy. We used to have these little Brick Mania. I don't know if you know those machines. Ah, talk about good soundtrack, dude. Hey, yo, Chimp, my boy, my absolute legend, Chimp with the 13 months. Let's freaking go. Subs, absolute class. How's it going? Thanks for the Prime sub, my dude. Hope you're having a lovely Saturday. I have a criticism about Kingdom Hearts, but I'll talk about it in a second. Almost starting a hype train. Let's go. Let me scroll back a little bit. Okay, played for another year because you couldn't get another. Exactly. Chimp knows the deal. I was kind of lucky with the PS1. My parents bought the console together with 2 games on the flea market. Those games were Twisted Metal 1 and Broken Sword. Dude, what a class pair of games. Dude, Broken Sword is cool and Twisted Metal is absolute legendary. That's fun for hours. Just got home from work, ready to relax for the evening. Lovely. Sit down, put your feet up, enjoy your beverage of choice, and I hope you have a relaxing evening, Yeti. You deserve it. The story of how I got Final Fantasy VII. was pretty happenstance. I wanted an N64 for Christmas in '97, but the electronics guy at Walmart convinced my mom I should get a PlayStation with Final Fantasy VII on it. Dude, you should find out who that guy was and give him a huge, wet smooch kiss. He deserves it. Can you imagine going in there for a Nintendo 64 and get out with a PlayStation 1 with... He was goated, yeah, an absolute goat, dude. Guy recognized it and was like, you know, let's Alakablam. Let's Alakablam this kid's brain with some Final Fantasy VII action. Thanks for the 95 bits. Close to starting a hype train. Thank you so much, dude. I give the prime to my friends. Ah, mate, that means the world to me. We're good mates. We're good mates. We know that. I think I commented on your tweet yesterday that I miss Liverpool. I miss being back there. I hope I get to visit this year or sometime soon because I miss that place. It felt like home away from home, you know, and I love home. That's how good it was. It's beer o'clock somewhere, you know it. You're a bit drunk? No, dude, enjoy life. I'm all for it. You gotta love being a little bit had a buzz giving on. Our team actually won today against every odd. Dude, just celebrate. Enjoy the good times. Yo, C, how's it going? Good to see you. Happy Saturday. Shoutouts to C. Let me give a little shout out because she always, like the people in her stream, and especially C as well, they always give me shout outs when I jump in. It has brought a lot of people over, and they are mostly French, and usually I'm not that nice to French people, so I have to relearn my things, you know? I'm kidding, of course, I'm kidding. Hope you're having a lovely weekend. Thank you so much. And if you haven't followed yet, go follow C. She's currently playing through Nier and Chrono Trigger, which has been amazing to watch. Even though I haven't played Nier, but I'm always watching the absolute amazing action that is Chrono Trigger because best soundtrack of all time. Broken Sword 1 actually broke me. For some reason, if you die, it gives you the option to format your memory card. I picked yes, not knowing what happens. You can guess what happened later. Really? Yo, Deluge, that's actually terrible. You got scammed, bro. You deserve it. Aw, you're so nice. Thank you. Kingdom Hearts has been fun. We just started. I forgot to start recording for YouTube, so we're having fun. And we're talking about the first game we ever had, which is a good conversation to have, I guess. Chimp using his smart, absolute knowledge brain to use all his English in oui. Yo, Snipes, how's it going? Good to see you. Happy Saturday, dude. I don't know much French, which is kind of like I had 3 years of French in school, but I can barely say stuff. I listen to a lot of Stormé, though. I know he's Belgian, but most of his songs, or all of his songs mostly, are in French. Even though I can't understand them, I just love his overall vibe. And I get some stuff stuck in my brain. I wouldn't attempt to speak French because I know I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation completely. I don't want C to be like, oh god, what is this guy doing? Trying to speak French, oh mon dieu. Comment ça va? First system I ever got was Genesis and Mortal Kombat 1 original. Nice! Mortal Kombat 1 was a lot of people's first game from what I hear. You're tired? Sorry to hear that, Snipes. Do what Yeti is doing. Just kick your feet up and relax, dude. We're in the right place for some relaxing. My first games were Super Mario World, Street Fighter 2, Showing, and Donkey Kong. See, you are like the complete opposite. That's why we're mates. I played like no Nintendo games. I'm so uncultured in Nintendo games that it's embarrassing. I had never played any Donkey Kong games. It's embarrassing. It's so bad. I haven't played Star Fox 64. Oh, dude, it's so bad. I haven't played GoldenEye. Can you believe I'm like the only person on the planet that hasn't played GoldenEye? I just didn't have the money for Nintendos back in the time. So if it wasn't on Game Boy, I hasn't played it. That was perfect. Ah, merci. Merci. No, my French, dude, for some reason I wasn't good at, I was okay, but I wasn't just great. I just wasn't great at French. I tried my best though. And I was bullied. I'm not legit bullied, but I was kind of bullied at school because French is easier for Portuguese people because it's way closer to our native tongue. Like it's like Spanish. It's closer to Portuguese, like French, and a lot of people immigrate to France and to Luxembourg where they speak mostly French. So a lot of people just know French. Like my mom knows way better French than I do. So I like embarrassment with the family. I have family and friends, and I suck at French. I'm like way better at English. For some reason, my brain just twisted in English. I know I can understand it correctly, and I'm okay at speaking it. But when it comes to French, it's like brain does not compute. You grew up with N64 and Mario 64? That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. I am pretty uncultured when it comes to Nintendo, dude. Your first game was Spyro? Dude, can you imagine that? What an introduction to gaming. Like, Spyro is an amazing game to start with. Not that the others were bad, but Spyro is like the game where I think it has the right balance of cool looking and challenging. Like, it's not too difficult, but it's also not too easy. So it's like a good introductory game. Like 80-year-old me playing Link's Awakening was just straight up unfair. You stuck at Spanish? Spanish is easy. You just talk fast and you say a bunch of stuff. It's like you just say, pero son un poquito tonta, ¿no? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa con ustedes? The Portuguese just moved to Liverpool now. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's all just move to Liverpool. You agree? It was such a good first experience. Yeah, I have to say it. It's like you're so lucky with your first game. Spyro is like the correct balance, and it has a cute dragon to start with. Like, so it's so appealing. Okay, let's read this. Is there any way we can buy that lamp from you? Of course, that is, if you can afford it. No worries. Yeah, we can pay you in royal trade. Donald! Might I be able to interest you in another fine lamp? No, that's the one you need. Ah, well, perhaps I can be persuaded. If you bring me a treasure beyond even my imagination. Something say, fit for a sultan? Okay, we have to bring him a treasure. Fit for a sultan. The systems I owned growing up were Genesis, the Saturn, N64, PS1, N2, N4, and I also had an Xbox 360. Dude, you had all the gear. All the gear. You were in Liverpool early this year. That's awesome. That's awesome, dude. Liverpool is the city you want to be in. If I ever get the money now, I'm buying the Sega Genesis. I kid you not, because I want to start speedrunning Mortal Kombat. Yeah, go for it, dude. Go for it. When I was a kid, I only had like the Game Boy Color for years. I only had the Game Boy Color and one of those knockoff flea market NESs where you played the 9,999 in one cartridges. That was like Super Mario in 10 different colors, and then it had like only 5 games. So it had like Super Mario, City Connection, Adventure Island, and Excite Bike, and that's it. and that was it. So then there was a Sega Saturn in the family. Like my uncle had a Sega Saturn that had a F1 an F1 wheel, and it used to get loaned out to me and my cousins to play the Sega Saturn. But it only had like 3 games. We only had like Sega Worldwide Soccer 98. We had Sega Rally, and that was about it. Then I got the PS1. Then my PS1 broke because I tried to mod it. And then my dad gave me another one. And then I sold my first PS1 to buy a PS2. Which I still regret to this day. I had so many cool games, but... You know, times weren't easy and I wanted the new PS2. So I did what any kid would do at that time. And I bite the bullet, sell the things, and got the PS2. Then it was ages, absolute ages, until I think I got the PS3 after the PS4. I bought the PS4 when I started working. It was like one of the first things I bought once I started, like, when I got like a stable job. I got the PS4.
His name is John C.
So basically, on release, the only console I had was the PS5. That was it. I was getting to the ferry to the Isle of Man. That's awesome, dude. Isle of Man. That is awesome. The Game Gear was great except for the battery life. That was terrible. We found an old box of gaming consoles that was in my grandpa's place. Like, my grandpa unfortunately passed away last year. And when we were cleaning out the house, we found an old box that was so dirty, but he kept it pretty neatly, actually. Inside the box, it was a Sega Saturn with like 4 controllers, and the Game Gear, and a bunch of Game Gear games, some in box, some were just the cartridges, but the Game Gear doesn't start, unfortunately. I think I'm gonna try to look out online, try to get it fixed, and maybe see if I can make it work. The Sega Saturn worked fine, by the way. What a machine. September 9th, 1999 was a legendary gaming. Both Final Fantasy VIII and Dreamcast came out on the same day. I had a mate who had a Dreamcast, and once we learned that we could just play recorded CDs and the lens would read them. Let's go. Never owned the PS3, guessing that was the right choice. I don't know. PS3 was decent. Yeah, it had a good library of games, if you ask me. Going back in 2025, I'll hit you up, Chimp. I hope I can go back to Liverpool next year. At the minimum, I want to be there next year. Hopefully going to Anfield. Treasure, that could be tricky. There's a lot of the palace, but it's not mine to take, and I can't risk it. I don't want to worry Jasmine or the Sultan. Hey, I know. What about the treasure in the Cave of Wonders? Alright, Iago. You lead the way. And after we get the treasure, I might even believe your apology. You can count on me. My brothers and I first got a PS1 for Christmas with Final Fantasy VIII. Dude, can you imagine the scenes? The scenes, the absolute scenery, the absolute carnage. When I got the PS1 in Christmas, I was alone. But I remember telling my cousin, my older cousin, we used to do all sorts of things together. I didn't have brothers, so he's like the closest thing to a brother I ever had. So we did everything together. And I remember telling him, yo, I got a PS1. I know nothing about this. And I have one game that is... that is... Micro Machines. And then he helped me pick out some games. And dude, we had so much fun with the PS1, dude. I can't tell you the times of gaming, absolute instant memories that come to me when I think of the PS1 times. There are so many games that come to mind. Like Road Rash Jailbreak was the coolest because we could both play with 2 controllers. There was these sidecars that you could use. Oh man. Klonoa Beach Volleyball was amazing. We used to play that a lot as well. I still haven't played Final Fantasy VIII, can you believe it? Why can't I open this one? got Pandemonium for my first PS1. And Croc, dude, Crash Bandicoot. It's just such amazing games, huh? Your first time ever playing Parasite Eve. I only played Parasite Eve 2, can you believe it? I never played 1. So does this break? Guess not. Let me pause that, catch up with chat. I had a Crash Bandicoot and another game called Maximum Force. Dude, Maximum Force. Maximum Force was great. I remember Maximum Force. That was such a cool game. Anyone had any memories of games that were hyped about as a kid but turned out to be disappointing? Mine was Blasto on PS1. Games that were hyped about... I don't know. I think on PS1 I always... like, everything landed. Yeah, I know, Napaz. I know Parasite Eve 2 might be worse than 1, but I never get 1 to play with. 1, exactly, as I was saying, 1 wasn't released on any PAL region, so there was no way I could play it. I did play 2, but that was about it. I'm trying to think if I ever got disappointed with a PS1 game. And I think I never actually did. I don't think I actually got disappointed with a PS1 game. I'm not your pal, buddy. I don't know. Wait, now that someone has brought up the list, let me see the list if... I don't think so. I don't think any game like disappointed me. I used to play... I didn't get to play. But right, my cousin was so cool, and he was older than me. So what I used to do was, I brought the PlayStation to like on vacation, and since he was older, he used to play Resident Evil. Like we used to play it at night, but I couldn't play, so I would just watch Resident Evil. And if my mom or my dad actually found out, they couldn't get mad because, you know, I didn't play it. I was just watching. It's poopy games, yeah. A lot of Squaresoft games never came out in PAL. I handled Brave Fencer Musashi. I think Brave Fencer Musashi came out on PAL, didn't it? Am I confusing things? I might be. Maybe, you know what game was maybe disappointing for me, now that I think of it? And now that I'm watching the list, I think I might say... Wait. Maybe Armageddon, the one with Bruce Willis, you know, remember that game? Oh, I know, Siphon Filter. Siphon Filter was a big disappointment for me, yeah. Because Siphon Filter was about the time that I started enjoying Apocalypse, yeah, that's the one. I started enjoying stealth games, and my cousin and a couple of my friends were starting to say, hey, you should play Siphon Filter, that's a stealth game. And I started playing it, and I absolutely hated it because it wasn't a stealth game. It wasn't. Sorry, but it isn't a stealth game. It was not a stealth game. I was so disappointed. I guess that was my first disappointment with gaming. Apocalypse was bad too. Right, phone is dying. See you soon. Take it easy, lad. You enjoy the rest of your evening, Chimp. Thanks for being here. Absolute legend. Thanks again for the sub. Also, I think everyone here has, but if you haven't already, go follow Chimp. His streams are amazing. He talks about a lot about mental health. Let me give you a shout out. He plays cool games as well. He's an absolute legend, so go ahead, give him a follow, give him a watch. The poor man's Metal Gear. No, it's not. That's the thing. It wasn't the poor man's Metal Gear. It was just an action game that for some reason, everyone thought it was stealth. Like Napaz saying Siphon Filter was like 33% stealth. Tell me in Siphon Filter which parts have stealth, because I cannot recall any stealth parts. Zero. Absolute zero. It is so annoying. There were a couple missions. I disagree. I disagree. Also, the stealth in that game, for the stealth game, it was so badly done. Like, if you're touting your game to be a stealth game, and if your stealth doesn't work, how do you think I'm gonna like your game? The large complex in the second half can be done in stealth and the undercover party. Okay, so whole game you gave me 2 sections. And you're saying 33%. Okay. And can be done. It's not mandatory that you do. It's so stealth is absolutely optional, yes. And it's one of those games where if one person hears something or sees you, everyone knows where you are, and man, there's so much stuff wrong with that game. The first half of the game is very action focused. Now, all the game is action focused, like 90% of the game. From what I can find, Brave Prince and Musashi was never released in PAL territories. Really? I was almost sure it released on PAL, didn't it? I might be wrong. I might be confusing it with another game. Oh, you're right. It didn't. My bad. Got that wrong. But Metal Gear was refreshing at the time. Stealth felt great and it was fun. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, the stealth is optional, but the stealth is also well done, you know? In a bunch of games. I say in a bunch of games, I should say on Metal Gear. Yeah, maybe it was the second one. Maybe I'm getting confusion. Thanks to Indie Gauntlet, my gaming library will be even more full. Man, I love the Indie Gauntlet idea. There are so many cool video games going around that I think everyone should play. And I'm so happy that he played Gris first, because Gris is such a tiny adventure, but it's so iconic. Like, I can't watch that game. There are scenes in that game that I can just not watch because I'll start crying. And I'm man enough to admit it. The game is so well done. It packs a punch so well. If you haven't played it, it's a game about grief and the 5 stages. But it depicts so well, and the music, the scenery, everything in that game looks wow. Actually, it's a good game. I would recommend to C. I don't know if C actually played it. I'll have to ask her. I don't remember if I asked or not. I'm not saying Siphon is a good stealth game, nor has any real focus on it, but it's possible. It was the big marketing thing about Siphon Filter at the time, or at least the buzz around was that it was the direct competitor with Metal Gear. So when you hear that, you think, okay, it's a stealth game, because Metal Gear, even though it had a lot of focus on story elements, it was essentially, in the title, stealth game. So when you go back and play, you know what's a good comparison? You know what's a good comparison between, yeah, maybe it was the Spy Special Agent thing. And now that I'm saying it, you know what's a good comparison between the Siphon Filter and Metal Gear Solid? I would say the same thing about Resident Evil and Silent Hill. Because I think Resident Evil, it's more about action, survivor action, than it is horror. Like, Silent Hill is straight up, I'm gonna mess with your brain horror game. It can actually spook you and mess you up in some puzzles. Those intricate, confusing puzzles. Resident Evil is more direct, is more action-based. And the fog, dude, the fog. Don't let me start talking about the fog, dude. Yeah, it's more blow weapon. Exactly. I think that the same could be said about Metal Gear and Siphon Filter. Well, Siphon Filter is more about the cheesy story, let's call it like this, without wanting to sound disrespectful to Siphon Filter. So yeah, it's more of the agent, more action-based 007 straight up. And Metal Gear is more drama, stealth, innovative stuff. I guess just my expectations were wrong. That's it. And the fog, to me, to this day, the fog in Silent Hill, even though it's iconic, it might be one of the best pieces of programming engineering I've ever seen. If you don't know the reason for the fog in Silent Hill, it will blow your mind. Yeah, exactly what Mia is saying, the limitations of the PS1 time. So I can explain it in a sort of an easy way. Basically, because the PlayStation wasn't that abundant in memory, they had a lot of limitations in processing what they could draw on screen. The way the programmers dealt with the limitations was to create this iconic fog that you see. Yeah, the iconic drawing distance was a finite resource, exactly. So they just put a bunch of fog in the game. They just put a bunch of fog in the game and work with what they had. So the fog is actually helping the processing capabilities of the PlayStation. Basically, when you see the fog, you see nothing else, but the rest in the background is being drawn as long as you go along, which makes the games look better and more fluid. And it allows you to make the game possible, basically. Which for Silent Hill actually works wonders because it makes the game feel more creepy, you know? Like the fog makes everything in the Silent Hill village look creepy. And the look of the game, like the graphics weren't the best, but it actually fits the theme, the overall theme. And have you ever heard of how the music guy made the music for Silent Hill? That blew my mind. Silent Hill has a lot of fear of the unknown, while RE... Exactly, yeah, that's exactly it. No criticism between... I love both series. I love Resident Evil and Silent Hill. Silent Hill a little bit more, especially because I have a soft spot for back in the day Konami, which straight up almost every game that came out of Konami around the 90s, early 2000s, it's like godlike for me. Is every game that came out of that company, it's like they only produced bangers. Only bangers were allowed back then in Konami. A huge difference from what you see today. But I saw a documentary. It is on YouTube and you can watch it, and I highly suggest you do, especially if you're into music producing and stuff. So the entire listen to this, the entire music for Silent Hill was made by one guy. And a jewel that folds up. What about it? So it was made by one guy in a tight space of time. Like he had to do it fairly quickly. So he used a bunch of samples, and he worked like 14, 15, 16 hours a day, slept in under the desk in his office to produce the masterpiece that we hear. Like, I'm not sure now, I don't want to say anything wrong, but I think he was the same guy who produced the cutscenes. Yeah, the guy literally just lived in Konami for months, maybe a year or two, to complete Silent Hill. So if you play Silent Hill again, keep that in mind. Wait, what I have to do? Oh, I see. How am I feeling about the Silent Hill 2 remake? Pretty much the same way I'm feeling about Metal Gear's remake. I like the idea. I'll wait to see the execution. Worse when they came out saying they are changing it. There's nothing wrong. I don't think there's something inherently wrong with saying they're gonna change it. It depends on how they change it. I think when you see remake, you kind of have to expect a change. They're just not gonna do a shot-for-shot remake. That's not a thing anyone wants, because I could just play the original, because the original is so good. So I guess they have to put their own spin on it. I can just pray that their own spin is actually good. Team Bloober? I don't know who Team Bloober are. Since we are with facts about hardware limitations game design, the faster moving alien ships in Space Invaders only began moving faster because hardware could handle less ships easier and calculate their movement faster, so this is why they accelerated when they were less on screen. Yes, exactly. I knew that. It's still interesting, yeah. Plenty of people asked for it, yeah. People don't know what they want. I'll keep saying this. I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings. That's how I feel about it. It might not be right, but I think people just ask for stuff and don't know what they really want, and they think they want one thing, but it's not what they really want, you know? I learned that about myself as well. Like, complete your task within the time allowed. Okay. Have to defeat the enemies. So Team Blubber are doing the Silent Hill. I don't see any. I don't recognize Team Blubber. I don't know what they did or didn't do, so I can't say they're good or bad. I'm just going into it the same way I'm going into Metal Gear. Like, everyone knows I love Metal Gear Solid. It will always be probably my favorite game of all time. When it comes to nostalgia, when it comes to everything. But seeing it remastered or ported or whatever, I'm just gonna hope that they know what they're doing, basically. And I'm not gonna be negative. I'm just not gonna knock it until I try it. That's my approach to it. I'm just gonna stay positive. I'm just gonna, you know, until I play it and I have my finished product in front of me, I'll remain hopeful. That's what I'll do. I think it's a better way to approach it. Like, I don't absolutely love the idea of Metal Gear Delta, which is it's gonna be a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, but let's see what they do. Let's see what they have to do it. I know that the team behind the development of Metal Gear Solid Delta are actually very passionate about Metal Gear. So there's me just hoping they make a good thing. They made some horror games that are kind of hit or miss. I'll give them a fair shake. The Team Blubber made Medium. I recently wanted to check that game out. I heard of Medium. I heard it was kind of good. I think if we're talking about the same game. I don't know. I just think. I think it's fair if you straight up just think, you know what? I'm just gonna hate it. I've seen things I don't like. I'm just gonna hate it. But I think that doesn't help anything, honestly. Like, the people who are developing these games, I think they are doing it maybe out of passion. Like, they love the first game and they want to do like a good job. So what I'm saying to them is, you know what? Do your best. Let's see what you can do. But if your best kind of sucks, that's what I'm gonna say. But I'm not gonna knock it until I see what you have, basically. That's all I'm saying. Like, Final Fantasy VII was getting into these huge games. it must be a ball of nerves, because you know it's not gonna be as better, or like not gonna be as good as the original, because it wasn't a whole event. Like Final Fantasy VII is a huge movement in gaming history, so the remake is not. I don't think you can make it as impactful. That was never gonna be the case. But I think they succeeded. They made a good remake, even though I don't like the Phantoms thing. I think they made a good remake. It was a good game. And they didn't change it a lot. And I just went with it with the, like, let's see what they can do. So that's gonna be my mindset to new games. I feel that it's not fair to hate on things out of the gate, but it's justifiable to be concerned if they're track right. Oh, dude, trust me. All I'm saying here is, you're completely entitled to, like, if a company made absolute shit horse games and you wanna hate on their next product, I can totally understand it. Like, if they haven't proved they can make good things, why do you get your hands on an important game like Silent Hill 2? And if you want to hate them for it, I can completely understand your level of thinking. I'm not going to say that because I want to see what they can do. Like, do what you want to do. Take all the delays you can take. If you're going to delay it, just make the best piece of gaming you can make, and then I'll judge you for it. When I see the game and when I play it, I'll judge you for it.
Sure looks valuable.
Great, now let's go get that lamp. We gotta keep Jafar bottled up, or he's gonna destroy Agrabaaaah. Hey, snap out of it, Donald.
Okay, what's happening? What's happening? Wait. Blubber said they weren't gonna... Wait. Oh. Sorry that I missed chat for a little bit, but a lot of people to battle here. There's a tight space to fight these dudes. I'm gonna get annihilated here. Nice. Blubber said they weren't making Silent Hill psychological horror, they were making it mass market horror. See, that worries me, because Silent Hill is definitely psychological horror. But I guess they just want to get kids into the door. I don't know. I wouldn't know why they think that would be a wise decision. Silent Hill is about psychological stuff, definitely, 100%. So messing with your brain, and I like that set. Final Fantasy VII Remake exceeded my high expectations, could not believe it. Me too. Only Napaz hated it. Napaz absolutely hated it for some reason. I thought the characters in Final Fantasy VII Remake were better than the original. They felt more fleshed out, and Cloud, for example, felt more consistent as a character to me. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I think it's
Let's
easier
go.
to say that because they had voice acting. You have to remember the first Final Fantasy didn't have voice acting, so
Hello?
it was harder to get their message across and show character and consistency in character and character development. Without like with voice acting and better graphics and better cutscenes, you can do so much that you couldn't do back then. But still, and thinking of Cloud specifically, Cloud is probably, if not, it might be one of the most iconic characters in gaming, and he's so well done. Like it's amazing what they did with the character. I couldn't say that the remake was better. I don't think so.
Oh no, I'm trading it for treasure. This lamp is going to bring me riches.
Oh, no, you don't know.
Final Fantasy VII was also translated by one guy, and the translation wasn't great. At least the English version was. Not sure about other languages. Yeah, we have to think about the translation issues. But to me, dude, that's the thing about, when I think about remakes, that's the thing I always think about, which is, if the remake sucks, which is a possibility, you can just play the original. You know, the original will still be there. You can just experience the original. And I'm sure, at least I'm sure you're gonna enjoy this one, because at least I did, so you'll have a better shot of enjoying that one. Like, going for an example that's straight to me, that applies to me 100%, which is Metal Gear Solid 3. Like, if Metal Gear Delta, for some reason, sucks... And, by the way, the same goes the other way. Like, I'm not gonna stop playing Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater because Metal Gear Delta is out. Like, that's not gonna be a thing. In fact, I think I'll play more Metal Gear Solid 3 when it's gonna be available on PS5. As much as I love Delta, I would love Delta. If I do, I would still play the original. Such a good video game. So yeah, the original experience will still be there for me. And if Delta sucks, it isn't gonna ruin. That's why I think people get a bit confused. Like, the remake being bad, it doesn't ruin the original experience, you know? It just ruins the remake. The original experience will have its flaws and its achievements and its goals and its good things. So it will still be there. It'll still be its own piece. The judgment of the remake isn't affected. The judging on the remake doesn't affect the original work, if that makes any sense. In remake he was a more consistently stoic, but with a dry sense of humor to me anyway. I like that about Cloud though, because I think it fits his personality more, because he's so confused with everything that's going on that I kinda understand why he isn't joking around all the time. So you can see why, to me, the remake felt different. The collection comes out in October, I think, at least the first two yeah, the Metal Gear Volume 1 collection comes out on October, yeah. Who's eating snakes? We are. Snakes taste like chicken, from what I hear. I never had one, but I hear they taste like chicken. Rumor is Metal Gear Solid 4 might finally get a modern port. Dude, I am waiting. I've been waiting for years upon years upon years, because Metal Gear Solid 4 is just stuck in this medium that is the PS3 since it came out. And playing Metal Gear Solid 4 in a system that doesn't take as long as it does to load on the PS3, oh man, I might actually enjoy playing the game again. Yeah, the Volume 2 is going to be interesting. I predict it's going to be stuff like probably a Revengeance remake. Even though I don't think it needs it. Then a couple more PSP games like, I don't know about Acids, but probably like Portable Ops or I don't know if Peace Walker is in Volume 1. I think it was. I'm not sure. But probably something like Peace Walker or Portable Ops. And you might get the digital graphic novel. Then you might get like a port of the Game Boy game. But that would be crazy. So yeah, Peace Walker is not in Volume 1. So I reckon it's going to be Metal Gear Solid 4, Peace Walker, and one other game. That's my bet. That's what I would bet on. That's a no for me, dog. You can't knock it until you try it. Come on. Give Snakes a try. Snake enjoys it in the game.
Thank you.
Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, count me in. Violence breeds violence.
It's mine.
I don't know why that game has Metal Gear in the name. It's so not Metal Gear, but it is like the only game where I enjoy riding in.
Lamp hog.
Go away.
Gotcha.
No fair.
In Metal Gear Solid 2, Raiden is just annoying, and in Revengeance he's actually interesting for a change.
Nice one, Iago.
Way to go.
Don't drop it!
Look behind you.
He's not that annoying. You haven't played Metal Gear Solid 2 enough if you don't think that Raiden wasn't that annoying. Raiden and Rose is like
Nice try,
two
Bird
characters
Brain.
that I
Just wait till Jafar's free. He's gonna make one.
I
beauty of
like Metal Gear
artist.
Solid 2, but every time I want to play it and I have to go through those cutscenes with Raiden and Rose, I'm rolling my eyes back. It's like, yeah.
I'm home.
Hey, got the genie, nice.
Al! It's been eons! Al, you princely little muffin, you! Cosmic travel can get so lonely without a friend. To think I left you forlorn and genieless! Oh, the humanity!
Genie?
Hey, Al, have you been putting on weight? Al, of course, what am I saying? You're living at the palace now! Aladdin! Jasmine! I can just picture it. Wait, tell me, am I being a pest? Just a big blue pest? Oh, who cares, Al? I'm just so glad to see you!
Genie.
I'll teach you to make a fool out of me.
Oh! Oh! Oh!
Time for Plan B. I'm finishing you mugs off right
I
now.
don't think you will. Okay, maybe. Wait, before I start, let me read what you guys wrote. Revengeance is 100% action shoved into your face at 300 kilometers an hour. You are absolutely spot on, Deluge. That is it. Talk about a wild moment in gaming when you realized that Raiden was the pro tag in Metal Gear Solid 2. That was so controversial. It was a decision. I'm not gonna say I stand by it, but it was a decision. Point is that he's annoying, but they do go too far with it. They front load the annoyingness way too quick. Look, he is an absolute rookie, and it hurts me to my core. They send this guy to this mission, and he's like asking what to do all the time. He's a complete noob. Why would I enjoy play with this guy that doesn't know what to do anything after playing with Solid Snake in a cool boat? The initial badass scene. Why would I play with this guy that doesn't know how to shoot a gun and then shows up naked or whatever? Dude, it blows my mind. And then he has this girlfriend, but I don't. Man, it's so. And then the absolute kick in the balls is the freaking co-op with the lady, with Emma, an underwater rescue part, which is whoever thought that was a good idea Dude, I love you, Kojima. You changed my life forever. I will always back your projects, but the fact you thought a co-op underwater, oh man, that is hell. Absolute hell. Absolute hellish. I'm trying to think of a better kept secret to prior to release back in the day. Raiden was so secretive that I don't think anyone knew about it until they played it. Yeah, exactly. I don't think you could do that nowadays. You stand by it? That's okay, Ire. I respect your opinion. I just do not... I enjoy Metal Gear Solid 2 as a game. It is a good game. And I understand why some people think it's the best of the series. But it just isn't it for me. I actually went to a store and picked up Metal Gear Solid 2 on a Friday after school. A friend and I were so excited about the release. I finished the game over the weekend. It was such a great feeling. Ah, dude, the only Metal Gear I got to pick up on release, because I got the consoles pretty late in their development stages, was Metal Gear Solid 3. I walked I went to a place way early, and I waited in line until for it to open, and I got Metal Gear Solid 3 day one, and I finished it over the weekend, I think, as well. Ah, man, then maybe that's why it's so special to me. Maybe that's it. Did I click Lazy Gun? Did I miss it? There we go. Okay, that was a good one. Nice. Let's freaking go. I'll catch up on chat. I know that is a cutscene coming, so. Really stoked for Kojima's project. That Stranding 2 looks bonkers. Absolutely. I still have to finish the first one offline, of course. I'm not gonna stream that Stranding.
Yeah! All right! Hey.
So we're closing up Jafar forever. Raiden is helping Emma get through the mission. It's a great way to show you how he's getting it together over the course of the mission. Gameplay-wise, that is not a great part. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it doesn't fit the story or the character development. It's just an absolute boring part of the game. Doing an escort mission with a side character that is useless, and you add underwater elements to it, which is the overall... Everyone hates underwater levels. That's why they have the best soundtrack. It's because underwater levels are usually slow-paced and a bit boring. That's why they have the best soundtrack, because, hey, I'm listening to, I don't know, Dire Dire Docks. I don't even care that this level sucks. That's basically it. I'm always defending Squall too. I think I just like playing as broken, flawed protagonists in games. It's okay. It's okay. I can't say anything about Squall because I never played Final Fantasy VIII, but I don't hate on Raiden because he's Raiden. I just hate... Like, I love Raiden on Metal Gear Revengeance. I love Raiden towards the end of the game. I just hate some parts, some aspects of Metal Gear Solid 2. And trust me, I hands down... Absolutely, no, I'm not joking here. Metal Gear Solid 2 might just be the most detailed video game on the PlayStation 2. Like, the level of detail in a game for that era that released... I don't know how long it was. I don't know when Final Fantasy or when Metal Gear Solid 2 came out, but the level of detail in that game is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely. So, phew, dude, exactly. They had ice cubes that melted in real time. It's insane. In 2001, thank you. For that to be a thing in 2001, and the pans that made different noise, everything about that game is mind-blowing. Trust me when I say this, if I had to play that game with Solid Snake from beginning to end, I'd be sitting here, and I probably am, in a different universe, saying that Metal Gear Solid 2 is the best game of all time. But in a different universe, not in this one. Escort missions bad, underwater missions bad. I can't recall an escort mission being entertaining. Neither can I recall an underwater one. Final Fantasy VIII to play it? Actually, I can refund you the points because we're gonna play Final Fantasy VIII, but only after I finish the 3 RPGs that we have to play, so. Metal Gear Solid 2 had... Oh, okay, I read that one already. It's one of my favorite games ever. Oh, dude, I can totally accept that opinion. I've read that so many times. I just don't understand why people pick it over 3, but personal preference. Or 1 for that matter, but that's on you, not on me. I promise, you won't regret giving me another chance. Honest. Princess Jasmine, you sure you want that pigeon in the coop? I think Yago's shown that he means well. Sure, you're probably right. And how much trouble can one noisy bird cause? You just might have a point there, kid. What happens next, Sora? Well, it was great seeing you and all, but we still need to find Riku and the king. I guess we'll be moving on. I hope you find them. Me too. Hey, where's Aladdin? He ran off towards town looking for Abu. But he should be back by now. Al can't miss Sora's big farewell party. I'll have him back in a jiffy.
Catch him! He must have secretly stolen it from the Cave of Wonders.
I guess some things are just hard to resist.
got stuck. What?
There we go. We're closing the door in Agrabaaaah. Nice.
Sora, what is it?
I think it's time for us to go.
Will you be back?
We will.
I don't know
promise.
who will. I don't know. I don't know. Got a lamp charm. With the help of two friends, he used the summon command to call for Genie for a helping hand. Nice. See you never. Oh, we got another cutscene. Wait. Oh, it's Pluto. Oh, it's that guy. Oh, great. It's Kyrie.
Maybe waiting isn't good enough.
My thoughts exactly. If you have a dream, don't wait. Act. One of life's little rules. You got it memorized?
Who are you?
Axel.
Axel, right, that's his name.
I happen to be an acquaintance of Sora's. Why don't we go see him?
Sora?
We've got something in common, Kyrie. You and I both miss someone we care about. Hey, I feel like we're friends already.
Axel, it's German for armpit.
Not acting very
Really?
friendly.
I was just thinking, it's been a while since we've seen Kyrie.
Hey, what is this place?
And Pluto just goes into things. With confidence, I should add. But I don't know if that's a good strategy overall.
You okay?
Oh, is she in the... Oh.
What? You and that dog came flying out of a hole in the wall. You nearly gave us heart attacks.
Oh, so she's in a different world now. And we unlocked another world.
Looky there! Twilight Town! Yep, I can see it. It's back again.
I don't know if I'm gonna go back to Twilight Town. I think that's a thing for another episode. For now, we'll just end here when we finish Agrabaaaah. To say goodbye to YouTube. I do apologize that I'll have to somehow edit the first part a little bit weirdly, because I don't know if it stopped recording randomly or if I actually genuinely forgot to start recording. So I do apologize. About the game, about the world, I absolutely loved Agrabaaaah. That was interesting. The fight was cool. The fire and ice dynamic is always a cool fight to have. So that was interesting. And then seeing Kyrie again was a good part of the story. Seeing where she ends up, interesting. I'm really looking forward to play some more of this. It's fun times ahead. I definitely see it happening. Anyway, everyone say goodbye to YouTube, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, dudes.